Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Powerful Mindset Interview Series. Today, I have a very special person with me who's going to join us for a nice conversation. This is Cristina Peck, who is my personal therapist, someone I've been working with for almost 2 years. And I wanted her to come on because I wanted to promote the idea of getting help is part of having a power mindset, and it's a strength to seek help when you need it. And she's someone who for me has allowed me to guide me through some difficult paths in my life and has put me to a place where I'm stepping into my own power and I'm better than I've ever been. So whatever success I have going forward, Christina, you'll always be a part of it, and I'll be forever grateful for you. So Christina, I want to welcome you to the Power Mindset. Please tell everybody your story.
Hi, Jeff, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, right? Yes, so I want to say that I want to start from my beginning, like, because I think it's important and it influenced a lot my choices. I was born in a very small island of Sardinia and in Italy. And we were really such a small island, like 15,000 people, that I always felt growing up that was a little bit too small for me. And so I had to somehow move out from the island at some point. And you might not know this, but actually to study, to go to a university, I had to go to another city in Sardinia, the city of Sassari. And there I actually did a degree that I don't know if I ever told you, but I have a degree in veterinary medicine there.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's interesting, right? And then I came to United States. I thought I was going to use veterinary medicine, but really, there was not a direction for me for veterinary medicine. So I re-evaluated everything in my 40s, early 40s, early late 30s. And I restarted to think about what am I going to do at this point. And then that's when I decided to go into counseling, and I did my counseling degree at St.Edward's here in Austin, Texas, and got the degree, the license, two licenses, LPC, licensed professional, for individual, LPC is called, but an LMFT for marriage and family therapy. So, and after that, it was all about, doing a lot of training, a lot of studying. I never really stopped training and studying. And then I started my own private practice here in North Austin, and then I met you.
Fantastic. Christina, tell me about why was it that you knew you wanted to leave your small island? What was, talk a bit about how you're feeling when you're on the small island that you wanted to seek.
Yeah, I just thought that if you know a little bit about Italians, you know that the culture sometimes is enmeshed, right? We know everything about each other, and there is no secret out there, right? You just know what's going on, right? If this one is friend with the other person, if they got upset at the other person. I mean, so I think that started to be a little bit tight for me. I just needed to have different experience, more experience. And really, I'm very curious, and I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world, and I wanted. I always had a lot of creativity and curiosity. Curiosity, I think it was always my thing. I'm curious. I want to do stuff. I want to see things. I want to know people, right? And so that's why I left. Now, I didn't tell you this because, when we have therapy, we focus on you, of course. But now I realize I know why I left for sure. It was definitely the curiosity, but it was more about my ADHD. I think I felt bored. I felt bored, unfortunately, La Maddalena. Now I go back every year, sometimes even twice a year to visit my family. But living there, I felt a little bit tight, a little bit small, a little bit bored. But I know now that that is one of the issue of ADHD.
Fair enough. So you're in a new city in Italy. Why veterinarian science? What inspired you to study that?
I think a lot of kids are very interested in animals, right? I wanted to, I see these poor cats, poor dogs suffering, and I just wanted to help them. I didn't know how to help them. And so I wanted to study medicine. I wanted to help these poor cats and dogs that's on the road, on the street because often there was no help, right, for these animals in my own little island because we didn't have a lot of veterinary. There was one veterinary that used to come once a week, right? And what about the rest of the day? So I felt really the need to do that. The curiosity. I want to know why this cat is sick or why this dog is limping or things like that. So just driven by curiosity again.
So it's interesting with your story. You talk about going from curiosity about learning about animals. What made the decision to go from Italy to the United States?
Well, that's because I met the father of my children, and so he's American, and then we moved to United States, and we actually moved directly to Washington, D.C. You can imagine from La Maddalena is where I'm from to Washington, D.C., huge, tall trees, big places, big skies. It was amazing to see that. And the opportunity of also being in Washington, D.C., of course, was incredible. And so then, I moved to Austin after 10 years being in Washington, D.C. And unfortunately, my marriage didn't do very well. So we had to separate, we had to go in our own direction. And I'm still here in Austin. And so that's why I'm here.
So just to be clear, when you were in Washington, is that where you started your counseling career, or do you start it when you got to Austin?
No, when I was here in Austin. So I really worked hard to try to be in veterinary medicine. I have to say, in this country, it's very difficult to become veterinarian, but it also is even more difficult when you are bringing your own degree from another country. So it was super, super difficult to get all the credential to do the testing, the questionnaire. It was very difficult. So at some point, I decided that that was too hard, too much. I just didn't want to pursue a thing anymore. I just didn't want to because it was just stressful and just too much. So I decided what I wanted to do all over again,
Fair enough.
restart from scratch, right? What do I want to do? And actually, it wasn't a bad thing. I don't regret being in counseling because actually, I wanted to do psychology even when I was in Italy. Remember the curiosity, right? I was thinking about all kinds of things. Oh, I can be this, I can be that. And then I chose veterinary medicine. But psychology has always been in my mind since I was a little kid. So it was not a bad thing to, to just restart all over again, because then I really did what I was called to do.
Let me ask you a question because I always find that people's stories, there's a kind of connection to the stories. How does your life from being in Italy, making the transition to immigration, immigrating to the United States, studying animal science, how has that experience helped you while you're studying to become a psychologist and in your career as a counselor?
Oh, you mean the connection between what I studied in the past and
Yeah, like just your experiences as a whole, like in terms of being an immigrant to the United States, all those experiences, how has that helped you and your transition into being a counselor?
well, this is an essential part of my own counseling, because I'm coming from another country, speaking another language, adapting to this new culture and learning English. When I came here, I didn't know English almost at all. I went to a British school once a week for a few months, and I thought that I could talk, right? But it wasn't true. So I came to United States, and I really struggle talking in English, in American English. And so I had to go back to school to speak English, to learn English. And so it takes a lot. It takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of clarity. What do I want to do? Do I want to go back to Italy or pursue this and insist, right? And persist. And obviously I persisted and I stayed. But it's been hard, it's been tough. And I think I was very fortunate, right? Because I came in this country with, flying. I came here, and I was fortunate enough to have a house, to have, all the things that you know most people have. So but still it's very hard. So I cannot imagine other people when they are coming, because there are issues in their own country and they have to come here because of that. Can imagine their own struggle. I already struggle with mine, but that's not, it will probably is not near what they struggle.
So it seems to me that there's this theme of helping.
Yeah, definitely, always like helping.
And so helping people, if it's animals, helping people and helping people in counseling, where did that desire to help come from, do you think?
I think it's innate. I always, always been with me. Definitely started with animals or little insect or little bugs, help them here, little birds, things like that. But it's always been there. I think it's an innate thing to be helpful. Um, yeah.
Are- And one thing that's very interesting about your story is that when you transition so much, right, from one part of Italy to another part of Italy to one part of the United States, another part of the United States, from studying about animals, studying about humans, the consistent theme is you and your mindset and your curiosity. That's the
Yeah.
consistent. That's the
Yeah,
consistency
exactly. It's consistent. The curiosity is consistent.
throughout the journey, right?
Yes.
So in my company, I study mindsets, right? And my goal is to help the young people develop their mindsets to be successful in life. But mindset has a variety of different ideas and understandings and interpretations.
Absolutely.
So my question to you is, how do you, with all your experience, define mindset? What is it to you?
Yes. First of all, awesome that you are helping children to find their own mindset, because I don't think there are any group out there or any training for that. So we focus more on mindset of adult, but I think it's awesome that you're doing it with children. For me, mindset is very, first of all, is like you said, it's very vague, right? What is it? Is so untangible, such an intangible idea. But mindset to me is like if I break the word, is like you are setting your mind, right? And when I think of that, I think about the metaphor of the thermostat that you have at home. When you, let's say now, right, it's becoming warmer, so we set the temperature, let's say, at 70 degrees, right, 72 degrees. And you have to manually set it, and automatically there is a feedback loop, right? That keeps going back and back to that temperature. Um, so I think our brain is the same. We need to set our mindset. For some people, it's very natural. They are born that way. I don't know why, but they're born that way. They know, they are clear, they know what they want, they stick with their goal, they keep going. And for some people, no, it's not that simple. And I think that thank God we are all different, but for some people there is it's a little bit more difficult because of the condition where they're living, but also I'm a therapist, right? So I'm going to talk obviously about what about the depression, the anxiety, the bipolar, the ADHD, right? All these problems, unfortunately, are going to make you go away from the mindset, right? Because this is not, the mindset doesn't become a priority. It becomes more like, I need to take care of myself. I need to get better mentally. I'm anxious about everything. So it becomes almost a distraction to what you really want to do in life. And so that's why, it would be awesome when you recognize that you have anxiety, when you recognize you have some depression or something going on, to go to a therapist or to go somewhere, I need to talk. I have a problem. And what I also notice that people that don't have they have this condition, but not necessarily these people, they're not focused, right? They're not focused in what they're doing. And so they don't have a feedback loop. You
Mhm.
need to reset over and over again. And the reset is so hard, right? It's so hard. You manually have to do it every day. Manual resetting the temperature every day almost, or every night before you go to bed. And then check it again in the morning to make sure that we are at the same temperature again. And I think that that's the struggle that a lot of people have. Now, as children, parents, um, teachers reset the temperature for you, reset your mind for you every single day, right? Go brush your teeth. Did you put your shoes on? Okay, it's time to go, right? As adult, that is more difficult because we don't have a parent telling us what to do. Although sometimes we do have a partner, a wife, or that
And it
keeps
might be the
telling you
daughter.
why your shoes are on the floor. And they reset our mindset all the time, right? And we fight about that. But for adults, we need not just to do it ourselves, but also we need other people, other adults. Like, it's awesome that you and I do belong to groups, right? And so that is the resetting for us is important. It's not that we are weak, deficient, we don't know what we're doing. No, actually, we need that bringing again our focus together every single week with the people that we know so that they know, hey, Cristina, did you go? I don't know, did you wrote the email to this person? You said last week that you wanted to do it. You're right. I had to do it. I had to do it. And I think you do know how powerful that is, right? To have other people around you to remind you what's your focus. Again, it's not their responsibility, but it's very, very helpful when they do remind you. Um, Also, I have another thought about the setting the mind. It requires clarity. And I think you absolutely need to know what you value in life. What is your value? What do you believe in? And and so these belief systems that they develop through childhood, through when you are, young with your family, they keep coming back to you when you are a teenager and then young adult and so on, right? So I think mindset, when you set your mind, you have to know values and belief systems so that you can keep going with that. Sometimes, again, some people have this innate ability to do that, and some people don't. And so you need to build that. You need to almost go back, study, right? What is my value? Sit down, think about it, and build your own values and belief. And then you feel, oh, you're right. This is what I need to do in my life. I want to achieve this. I want to do this.
No, it's a great point. And my dad used to tell me with his patients, he used to say, someone could come in with the same exact ailment. One person saying, Doc, when am I getting out of this hospital? Another person saying, Doctor, I'm so sick. I'm so worried. He says one person will take 5 days, one person will take 2 weeks, just because their mind's like, I want to get going, I want to get out of here, and they progress quickly.
Exactly.
So my question to you is, how important for you do you think is your client's mindset to their progression?
Oh my gosh, is the most important thing, I think. I mean, I I think it's the most important thing because I can tell them, I can suggest them, hey, I think you should do this, I think you should do that. But if they don't have that mindset of getting better, they will not get better and they will take a long time. And therapy is going to be very, very, not hard, but it's going to be long and difficult. They need to come to the office, they need to come to the therapy wanting to get better, believing that they can do it. And often is not because, again, because of certain disease, they don't know what's going on and they're confused, but they do want to get better, right? And so we need few sessions to understand what is the goal of their or what is the problem. But mindset is very important. I know, and you are one of those that you always been clear about, I want to get better. I want to do this. I want to do that. And you did it. And, you progressed pretty quickly compared to other people. But I think your mindset, you had to redirect your mindset a lot, right?
Absolutely.
And you did it though. It was excruciatingly painful at times, but you did it.
Absolutely. And it was such a great growing experience for me. I want to talk about your mindset. How do you reset your mindset as a professional when you're working? Do you need to reset your mindset to go into your work every day? Like how do you do that for yourself?
My personal mindset is looking at my schedule every night, every morning, during the day, and then really a lot of training, a lot of reading, a lot of and really not forgetting that I'm there to be curious, I'm there to help people. So setting my mindset is as multiple facet, right? So need to go back to who I am, what I like, and then do a bunch of training, which I'm constantly doing training to improve myself, which gives me a lot of reward, and I feel really good about me. And so that makes me help with more people. But it's a daily thing. It's not once a year, you know.
It's a
I
repeat
need
daily.
consistent daily reset. Okay. And you know, when I sometimes I mean we all have hard times, right? When we don't want to get up, we don't want to do anything. But when I'm talking to people, I just like, oh, I feel so good now. I just this is what I needed. This is what I not that I needed, but you know, this is what this it feels good to talk to people and help people.
And Christina, can I ask you about your physical activities, your exercise routines?
That is also another important part because I don't think I can be an efficient human being in any place, not just work, but also in my personal life if I didn't do exercise. If I didn't exercise, I think I would be very depressed and anxious too. So I do exercise. If I'm not going to the gym, I'm walking for sure at least 30 minutes a day, but I do go to the gym and I lift weights and do this so-called body pump, which I love it because I feel, I feel good after that. And so I cannot be efficient without exercising. I mean, for sure.
So that exercise routine is also part of you having a healthy mindset for sure.
Definitely. Oh, yeah, for sure. And nutrition too, right? Food, we cannot take away the nutrition. I avoid, like, you know, the plague processed food as much as possible. Uh, Simple food to me is the best. That's what I try. Fruit and vegetables, that's what I try to do most every day. And then the other part is sleeping. For me, sleeping is also a super important part. Again, if I don't sleep well, the next day I will pay for it. So I go early in bed, like at 9:30, I'm in bed.
Fantastic. So, Christina, let's take it away just from you and let's look at the outside world. When you see the world from your perspective, what are the biggest challenges do you think are facing people, not just young people, people in general, in developing a good mindset in today's world?
I think we are too distracted, to tell you the truth. I don't think we, again, it's about beliefs, values. That's what I think mindset come from. And I think with, unfortunately, there is so much information out there. We don't either know if it's true or if it's not true, but we listen anyway. I'm talking about everything, news, social media, that we get too distracted listening to all these informations. And then we forget what we need to do for ourselves and for the people around us, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. I always look at it from the balance of consumption versus creation.
Absolutely. If you are consuming like food, right? If you're consuming bad food, if you keep eating chips, and nothing wrong with chips, I love chips, but every day, and doing all these eating hamburgers with cheese and stuff, your body at some point just cannot stand it anymore. Either you gain weight or your liver is going to tell you, hey, there's a problem here. We are eating a little bit of this. Same thing is about news. The same thing is about what you put in your head. every single day is going to is going to direct your thoughts. So if you are listening to social media, I'm not saying that all is bad. What I'm just saying that be moderate about that, because when you listen to negative talks, negative stuff all day long, your mind is going to unfortunately be negative. You're going to feel that it's a disaster and everything. It's a doomsday and everything is going to, fall apart. But we need to certainly have a realistic idea what's going on around the world. But be I caution people to just be careful what you're putting in your head, what you're putting in your mind.
So, Christina, that leads me to my last question for you today.
Yes.
If you could leave a message
Yeah.
for the young people, young could be young in age, young in a marriage, young in a business, just starting something up, right? Young at parenthood, whatever it is. What advice would you give people from your experience how to develop a healthy mindset in today's world?
I think it's tough, right? But not impossible. And if we're talking about children, I would say, or anyone, I think any age, like you were saying, it's okay to start where you are. It's okay if you don't have this natural mindset that some people have, but you need to work on it. You need to sit down, really figure it out because without you having your own, figuring out your own values, your own belief system, I don't think you can have a mindset that will help you in the long term, right? So you really need to know, you need to be clear. And for the children, I say that they don't need to know their mindset right now. Uh, but at some point, when they become teenagers and young adults, they will definitely develop it. And if they have someone like you or the parents who constantly redirect them towards their own, redirect them towards what they need to do, what the rules are, and what they can be around these rules and be themselves, they will find it. Kids, teenagers, adult, but you need to work. And you need to actually listen often to other people that already have that mindset.
Well, Christina, this has been a fascinating conversation. We've talked about a lot of different things. We've gone through your life, your career, your and great advice about mindset, your experience with your patients. It's been fantastic.
Thank you so much.
The second half of the year after July, this first half of the year, I'm talking about mindsets with all my guests. I'm inviting all the guests over the second half of the year back to talk about habits.
Oh, yes, that's awesome.
So I'll welcome you back if you join me for another chat.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you
Definitely.
so much for your time, Christina. It's been a joy, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.